Good morning and welcome to Fusion Academy's class of 2020 graduation ceremony. Never could I have imagined that when we left campus for spring break that we would not return and that we'd be celebrating our seniors in this unique way. But here we are. We are so proud of our graduates' resiliency and flexibility that they displayed during these trying times. While most people mastered making banana bread or creating fire TikToks, you mastered science and English and history. You are so incredible. This year's graduation, though 100% virtual, still has the same characteristics that make a Fusion graduation so special. First, a word from Joseph Thompson, our head of school, that will leave you contemplating the mysteries of the universe for the rest of the day. And then our teachers will give speeches for every senior, just highlighting their favorite memories and favorite parts of them. So before we begin, a couple house rules. Go ahead and refresh your coffee. Make sure you're in your comfiest pair of yoga pants, and go ahead and grab your computer charger so you don't have to search for it during the graduation. If you do miss a portion of the ceremony, no worries. The ceremony is being recorded and you'll be able to rewatch it as many times as you want. Now it's time to get this party started. Our Director of Student Development, Sarah Rivers, will introduce the class of 2020. Let's go!
Thank you, Jordan. Good morning, friends and family. It is my honor to present Fusion Academy, the Woodlands, graduating class. Connor Burrow, Justin Boudreau, Taylor Brand, Garrett Brotherhood, Kenneth Curtis, Lauren Hatley, Sarah Horrigan, Callan Knight, Gabriella McTavish, Evan Miner, Haley Morgan, Grayson Scott, Abigail Schultz, Will Sulant, Avery Zabo, Chloe Marie Taylor, Conrad Woodard, and now to deliver our keynote address, our head of school, Joseph Thompson.
Good morning. Thank you, Sarah, and thank you, Jordan. Welcome, senior class of 2020. I am so grateful that we have created this celebration for you to honor your achievements, your hard-won victories, and your bright futures. Before I begin on my speech, I want to also extend a welcome to everyone watching, families, friends, teachers, and Fusionites. We are so grateful that we could widen the circle of celebration and have you here to witness this ceremony. It's a bright side to an otherwise strange past few months. So I had a conversation a few days ago with a friend, and she was sharing how she was second guessing almost every decision in her life, citing the uncertainty that we've been living in since just these 3 months began, and we all retreated to our homes to weather an unseen and mysterious storm. It might have been arrogant or insensitive of me, but the question that popped out of my mouth was, when have you ever known what was going to happen? She started to reply, ready to call me out on what could fairly be called a lack of situational awareness. And then she stopped, and a peace settled into her voice as she slowly and mentally regained the control she always had and always used to powerfully take on the unknown. I don't want to diminish or mitigate the reality of, well, reality. There are risks and dangers. You have a body and mind that are mysteriously connected and yet distinct. and they like to work in a certain way. And when that way of working is frustrated, your body and your mind do things to keep you safe from risks and dangers. And while all that's true, I do want to draw attention to another truth of the same reality. The future does not exist. This isn't a weird, radical philosophy. It's basically just the way the natural world is and how time works. And I'll even do you one better. The future does not exist, that is, until it is created. We have a phrase that we use around campus sometimes, definitely in our admin team, to describe what will happen if nothing changes. We call it the default future. This is what will come to be unless something dramatic or unexpected happens. We abandon ourselves usually to default future, claiming that it's unchangeable. There was a version of the default future at work when you all first started at Fusion. But instead of believing in the default future, you and your families did something revolutionary. You chose not to accept it, and you started to work in another lane, the created future. Because the future doesn't exist. Things don't have to be the way anyone says it will be, including yourself. You will continue on your journey long past your travels in Fusion Land, and you will be tempted to tell yourself that there is something inescapable coming up the road. A test that everyone in class is like, oh my God, like no one passes this professor's tests. Or a relationship where, yes, you love them, but you want things to improve. But is it worth saying anything if they're not going to change? A job interview that you think is way out of your league, so why even show up? A conversation with your parents, but you know how they're going to react because they always do, right? And so again, why even try? That coworker who's the worst team member, but there's no use saying anything because you're new here and he has seniority. Or just the thought that you have to have a job like this because otherwise you won't be successful and then you won't be happy. And that's just the way things are. So why even try? Well, because the future doesn't exist until you create it. So the question becomes, what future do you want to create? For yourself, for those you love, for the deep love you have for the world around you? You can count on the fact that it will be hard to bring that created future into existence. It will involve suffering. But the default future has its own suffering, and it also promises zero progress. You will be afraid at times, but fear just tells you where you haven't practiced yet. So as you turn to face the blank canvas of the future, ready to sketch an outline, or jump right in and splash bright paint on it, or draw and erase, and draw and erase. There are important things I want you to know, magic words that can become the very framework of that canvas when you say them regularly until you believe them. You are good. You are enough. You are already a success. You are safe. You have done hard things because you can do hard things. I'm going to say it again now as an I am statement, and I want you to say it with me. Say it to yourself. And anybody, it doesn't have to be just for our seniors. Feel free to say these things to yourself. I am good. I am enough. I am already a success. I am safe. I am not in danger. I have done hard things because I can do hard things. And that will be true regardless of whether you're in a moment of celebration or discouragement, of joy or sorrow, of trial or achievement, whether you're risking or you're resting, whether you're creating or defaulting. It will always be true. I have been fortunate to know you. I am grateful for you, and I am deeply proud of every single one of you. Thank you. Usually at this time, I would wait for applause or at least laughter, maybe at me. But Now I just have to transition awkwardly into my favorite part of the ceremony, which is when we invite our teachers to speak on behalf of each of our students. And so I want to welcome our first speaker on behalf of our senior Connor Boone, Brock Gordon.
Thanks, Joseph. And thank you, Connor, very much for asking me to speak today. It's a really huge honor. And I've worked with you since you've been here the past 2 years. It's a really big honor. Thanks. So Connor, I think it's a good sign when every teacher you've had since you've been here brags about what amazing project you've made this week, or how you've studied hard and done well on that exam, or shown leadership in clubs and as a student ambassador. Over the past 2 years, asking any of your teachers about you would elicit a response like, "Oh my gosh, Connor is amazing." And I'm sure that we would all love to take some small piece of credit for the success that you've had, but we really can't. And that's because you did all this yourself. So of the many things that people have said, I'd like to highlight one part of your personality. And that is, you're the kind of student who's not afraid to just do things. You're genuinely curious about almost everything. You have fully engaged with everything I threw at you in art and design classes over the last 2 years, and you've even engaged with things I didn't ask you to do. I'll never forget telling you about a project that we had that I wanted to start after Thanksgiving break that involved making a game, and only to find that after Thanksgiving break, you would come back and have a fully drawn game with over 100 cards, with this whole amazing system of a complete RPG game that you drew over Thanksgiving break. I tell that story at least once a month to somebody that I know. It was amazing. There was also something in the humor and the heart within that game that you just made yourself, that showed us that you were meant to do more than just execute projects. You have no problem learning technical applications like drawing, programming, rendering 3D objects and environments and animation. But you also realize that just knowing how to do that is a fraction of the knowledge. You have the gift of imagination, the ability to turn your technical know-how into meaningful works of art. I don't know if that can be taught, but it can be nurtured. Your creativity is like a friend that can help you go far in life, but also be there for you in the hard times. Never stop listening to that creator within you. It would be dishonest of me to fail to mention that the world that you're inheriting right now is a challenging one. Challenge is something that you've engaged with on a daily basis, and you've yet to show fear. Even when something fails, you stand confidently in your actions, and most importantly, you seem to know yourself. You have been good to the people around you and have shown that you're a responsible young man. I hate to tell you this, but you will assume more responsibility and continue to make everyone around you better just for being around you. I'm so excited for your next adventure this fall, and I cannot be more proud and confident in your path. There's a lot more I could say, but I know that you have to get back to some amazing project that you're working on. All I can say is thank you for constantly taking it to the next level. And please send us copies of all the amazing animations that you make in the future. Thanks, Connor.
Thank you, Brock, for those kind words. And thank you, Connor, and congratulations. Next up, I want to invite Nick Applewhite to speak on behalf of Justin Boudreau.
Thank you, Joseph. All right, Justin. So throughout the years, I've met some amazing students at Fusion with a lot of determination to succeed, but I've never met anybody as dedicated to self-improvement and their own development than Justin here. We began our education journey together just as the quarantine was beginning to shift the way that we conducted classes. And though it's often proved to be very difficult, Justin made sure that he utilized every single moment of class to benefit himself. When someone makes a conscious decision to improve their lives and their outlook, it can often be difficult to stay motivated. We often find a reason to give in or slow down, but that was never the case with Justin. No matter the subject matter, the assignment, or the uncomfortable self-reflection that I would ask of him sometimes, he showed up ready to grind it out and push forward. And it's because of this incredible tenacity that I've had the awesome privilege to watch Justin grow into the leader that you see in front of your screens today. And not just any leader. Through our time together, Justin has demonstrated over and over again that he is capable of commanding as well as inspiring the people that he's leading. His willingness to step back, listen, remain stoic, reflect, and respond with pragmatism and empathy is going to codify him as a leader that not only demands respect, but truly deserves it. And even though he's a Saints fan, I couldn't be more proud of you. So Justin, congratulations. And we're all just so excited to bear witness to what you have coming in the future. So congratulations, bud.
Thank you, Nick. And before you turn off your video, I do want to share my own word that I'm just really proud of your perseverance. And I'm so glad that you came into our world.
Thank you.
Up next, I will invite Theo Meadow, who's speaking on behalf of Baylor Brand.
Baylor,
Hi.
I'm about to cry seeing you in your cap and gown. I got this suit and tie on just for you, kid.
Looks nice.
Baylor started her journey at Fusion 9 months ago, and I've had the privilege of watching her transform into a well-rounded, soon-to-be college freshman. During our first class, she was quiet. She was wearing an oversized hoodie that was probably 10 sizes too big for her, and going through a rough patch. However, it was apparent that she was eager to engage and learn. Baylor allowed me to push her with motivation, and through that, she completed her vision board, which showcased her ability to accomplish a multitude of things. That vision board, she changed 1,000 times, but we finally got it narrowed down. And from the beginning of her time at Fusion, Baylor was a dedicated and hardworking student. My most notable memory of Baylor is her journey deciding on what she was going to do after high school and picking colleges. At first mention, she would scowl at me for even saying the word college. Now she has about 80 college acceptances. It was evident in the beginning Baylor was uncomfortable discussing school, but she persevered and focused on making good impressions at her college visit days, at college and career night that we had on campus. And I can remember her excitement in relaying how her first college visit went. Throughout this process, I was able to see her ups and downs, and it was wonderful seeing her break through her doubts. My time with Baylor in the classroom won't be easy to forget. We've shared smiles, tears, anger, laughter. Most importantly, we've shared growth. Baylor often talked about her fear of making mistakes, but if you don't make mistakes, then you can never learn from them. All that Baylor has accomplished this year has prepared her for the next big step. She's going to take this world by storm, and I'll miss having Baylor as my student, but I can't wait for her to continue growing. Baylor, I would be lying to you if I said life isn't tough. It gets tough, but I want you to know when life gets hard, I want you to know that you matter. You can overcome anything. And the growth that I've seen this year, I mean, there's nothing that can stop you. So I'm proud of you, kid. I'm going to miss having you in my class. So shout out to you, AKA Big Baller Brand. I'm so proud of you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Theo. And thank you, Baylor. Up next, speaking on behalf of our first Fusion student, it's Garrett Brotherhood and Rachel Harper.
Good morning, Garrett, and good morning, everybody who's watching. Garrett, just seeing you in that cap and gown is absolutely wonderful, and I can't guarantee you that I will not cry while giving you this speech, because you've meant so much to me over the past 5 years. So, how do you summarize 5 years of English with a student you've had every year starting from the very beginning? You can't. It's difficult for me to write this and say this because it brings my attention to the end. You've done it, Garrett. And you have accomplished so much between the 8th grader who started at Fusion about 5 and maybe 2 weeks ago to the young man we all see here today. You define Fusion for me. You have made me the teacher that I am today because of the love I have for you and the determination to make school work for you. When our last session ended over Zoom, I was so angry because I wanted to be there in person to congratulate you on succeeding. That's not how I wanted our time together to end, but I can reframe that to see it as a new journey you will be embarking on that I had a small hand in getting you ready for. You were a constant at Fusion, and I could always depend on you being in class at 8:30. We would have our time together to talk about how your YouTube channel was doing, what engine you were working on with your Legos, or what trip you had been on over break. You're the first person who has ever taught me to solve a Rubik's Cube, and that still holds true today, because without you, I can't do it. And that's something I brag about to family and friends all the time. Then you learned to drive, and that floored me. I could not believe that you were at that age to start driving. At the start of each school year, you came back a different Garrett. I watched you grow in your confidence. I watched you grow into you. I feel so grateful and blessed to have had the opportunity to be there for you. When I received your email asking if I could speak on your behalf, I was impressed with how well you worded the email and that you, the shy, reserved Garrett, reached out to me. You've become an advocate for yourself. This past year, I saw you work on your writing and reading with a fervor I have not seen in you. You are ready for the next step in life. You have the tools you need to make the life you want. Garrett, keep challenging yourself. Keep pushing forward. You always have a piece of my heart. I will miss you dearly, and wish nothing less than the best for you. Congratulations, Garrett.
Thank you, Rachel, and congratulations, Garrett. Up next for us, speaking on behalf of Lauren Hatley, is Samantha Craig.
Hi.
Hey, Lauren. When you first asked me to speak for you today, I was excited. And that excitement quickly turned to speechlessness, which I know is unheard of for me because I wasn't sure exactly what I wanted to say. The speechlessness then shifted into nervousness because I had no idea how to limit myself to 5 minutes and still say everything that needed to be said. How can I put into words the human that is the fabulous Lauren Hatley. When I think of you, I immediately think of the words passion, resourcefulness, and creativity. Your passion for life is unmatched. Even at 7:30 in the morning, when I drag into class, chugging energy drinks, you're excited to be at school and ready to take the day head on. I admire how you take a challenge and confront it head on, as if nothing and no one can stop you. You're not afraid to stand up for what you believe in, even when what you believe in isn't the most popular choice. My advice to you on this is to never lose that passion. The world that we live in right now is changing, and it's changing fast. Stand fast in your beliefs. Don't ever be afraid to speak up when you see something that needs to change. In my not so humble opinion, one of your greatest strengths continues to be your resourcefulness. Your strength lies in your ability to take what you have and turn it into more than anyone can ever imagine. During your economics project, you took an idea and turned it into a well thought out business plan. I loved watching you work through the process and figure out how to take this idea of a bakery and turn it into something brilliant. Don't ever lose that ability to create something unique out of an idea. Always ask questions and keep your curious nature. It will serve you well. Your creativity never ceased to amaze me during our time together. Everything you did in class and outside of class always had a touch of that amazing Hatley flair. Your passion and creativity often came together to bring smiles to everyone's faces. Never, ever lose your sense of wonder. The world is your canvas. I cannot wait to see the mark you leave and the beauty that you create. Lauren, it has been an honor and a privilege to be your teacher during your time at Fusion. I wish you nothing but the best that life has to offer. I know you're going to accomplish brilliant things during your time at Lone Star and in whatever you choose to do after that. And I cannot wait to see the amazing adults that you turn into. I love you.
Love you too.
You guys, my heart can only take so much, all right? Cut it out. Just kidding. Keep it coming. All right, up next, speaking on behalf of Sarah Horrigan, is Jeff Armstrong.
Okay, perfect. Sorry, it wouldn't let me unmute myself for a second, so I apologize. So, Sarah, I'm so excited for today, and I just want to share a few thoughts that I've had. So, as I began to write this speech, I felt really compelled to start with an embarrassing Sarah story, but then I had to stop, mainly because I couldn't think of one. You see, Sarah has always epitomized grace and civility on our campus, and for that, I sincerely thank her. But truth is, I'm likely biased. See, Sarah will always have a special place in my memory, as she's the first student I taught at Fusion. As much as I was honored to be instructor for countless classes in math and science, it was really her that taught me. She taught me how to be a Fusion teacher, how to build a foundation of love and motivation before instruction ever starts. And then she taught me about dressage. Or as I asked her the first time she brought it up, isn't that the thing with the fancy horse walking? And now, as Sarah prepares for her next stages of her life, it's given me a chance to reflect on my own high school career and the teachers that have had an impact on my life that I've had or hope to have had on Sarah's. When I was in high school, I was obsessed with computer science. And luckily, my instructor, Scotty Johnson, was willing to oblige. And one of the lessons that has always struck with me was one that he gave at the end of every single school year. Mr. Johnson would stand at the front of the room with his goofy style, his disheveled hair, and tell us that there are two types of people in the world, us and them. Mr. Johnson would go on to explain that each year he would stand in the hallway of his apartment with a huge masking tape chart on the wall. On the left side was them, on the right side was us. Each and every one of his students, represented by a name on a thumbtack note card, would start as one of them. His goal, through mentorship and support, was to slowly migrate each student into one of us. The kicker, of course, is that he would never tell us, despite my desperate pleas, what it took to transition into one of us, or if we even ever made that transition. Over the years, I've reflected on those lessons several times. With that reflection has come several theories of what it means to be one of us. As I transitioned into becoming an educator, my theory shifted one last time, and I'd like to share that definition with all of y'all. And it comes down to one simple factor: having the heart of a teacher. The desire to improve your fellow man, regardless of your occupation, be it banker, lawyer, doctor, painter, or landscaper. Each of us is still firmly enmeshed with others in their lives. This may be a colleague, a subservient, or a customer and client. How we approach our relationship with them is what makes the difference. Do we hold others up, giving part of ourselves in order to improve them, their knowledge in the future? Or do we use those around us as stepping stones, forgoing them in order to seek our own glory? The difference is simple. It lies in your heart. Sarah, as you move into the next phase of your life, I strive you hope to become the type of physician that heals and educates. A physician that aims to improve not only alleviation of symptoms, but also through the enrichment of their patient's life. In short, Sarah, I hope you always strive to remain one of us. I'm proud of you today, and I know I will remain proud of you each and every one of your tomorrows. Thank you so much for the time we've had together.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you both. We're excited for all you do, Sarah. Up next, I'm going to invite Rachel Harper back to speak on behalf of Gabriella McTavish.
Where's Gabby? There she is. Congrats, Gabby. You look so good in your cap and gown.
Thank you.
So, Gabby, you've turned out to be a wonderful young lady, and I am so grateful to be a part of that journey. I loved hearing about your interests, especially in anime. You would light up and get so excited when a new episode of your favorite show would come out. I love the way you think, the way you would talk through a problem out loud, and before you needed my assistance, you would have it solved. I will miss that a lot. I will also miss your ability to understand poetry on a profound level. Most confident I have seen you in your schoolwork was when you worked with poetry. I'm in awe of that. There were times you would get frustrated. You may not have admitted it to me, but I could tell. You'd tried. No matter how hard the assignment or how frustrated you would be at something happening outside of class, you found a way to solve the problem. You are resilient, more than you realize, Gabby. That resilience will serve you well in the next phase of life. You don't allow obstacles to stop you. That says a lot about who you are. I will miss you a lot next year, and I wish you all the best. And I know you will do great in the next phase of your life, Gabby. I love you, and congratulations.
Thank you so much.
Thank you both so much. Rachel, go ahead and dry your eyes, reset, because you're up next on behalf of Evan Miner. Where are you, Evan?
Yeah, where'd he go?
He's hanging out at the beach. There he is. There's our guy.
Yay! Hey, Evan.
Hello.
Hello. I hope you noticed that my profile picture is one of the cursed images that you sent me.
I noticed that the other day.
All right, good. All right. Class was absolutely amazing with you. The depth you went in our conversations and the way you articulate your ideas breathed life into the class. There was never a session I found dull or boring because you had something very interesting to say or had a hilarious cursed image to show me. I don't think I've ever laughed so hard in class before. When you first started, I couldn't understand why you struggled with the STAR test. You could write, and write well. You are creative, you have wonderful ideas, and you didn't struggle to put them on paper. I remember one specific conversation we had about the writing prompt on the STAR that caught my attention. And I thought about how someone as creative as you would struggle. And your creative intelligence was the problem. You needed an outlet. You needed a way to express yourself that worked for you. You started to flourish shortly after arriving at Fusion. I saw you relax. I saw the real you come out. Your laugh is contagious, and you always turned a bad day upside down when you walked by my room and did something silly. I will never forget those. There are many gifts you possess, and they will serve you well for where life will take you, Evan. You've had a huge impact on me and the campus. You will be dearly missed. Thank you so much for making class great and helping keep the joy of why I teach alive. Congratulations, Evan. You look great in your cap and gown.
Thank you very much. I'm gonna miss you.
Hugs.
And enjoy the beach.
I will. Thank you.
You have swim trunks on under there, don't you?
Yeah.
Hey, and you're not a lobster. You don't look like a lobster, so that's good.
Yeah.
Well done, Evan. Next up, we'll invite Kaylee Morgan and her teacher, Samantha Craig.
Hey, Sunshine, how are you?
Hi. Oh my God, I can't see where I am. Okay, there we go.
I'm so proud of you. And you look so good.
Cute.
Kaylee, the time is here. You finally made it. It hasn't been easy, especially this past year. Your personal struggles and losses, school, and the state of the world have come together to change your life in a major way. Kaylee, my dear, you have handled these major life changes with more grace and poise than someone twice your age. You have an innate ability to adapt and overcome adversity, as well as advocate for positive change for yourself and for those around you. I've seen you adapt and overcome since the first time you set foot in my classroom. I will never forget our first session together. We were covering transcendentalism, and I asked you a question about being one with yourself and the impact of nature on the self. Your response to this question made me realize that going forward, this was not going to be a normal English class. I'm constantly in awe of the level-headedness that you are able to maintain on the outside, even when you're feeling chaos on the inside. The skill of adaptation will serve you well in adulthood. You're going to have so much thrown at you, and being able to roll with it and improvise is an invaluable skill. You advocate for yourself in ways that I rarely see in teens. You know when you've hit a wall and when you need a breather. I'm honored that you chose my classroom as a space to feel safe. In class, we often explored themes of justice and equality for all, and the way that you spoke about these topics was inspiring. You've taken your skills of self-advocacy and you use them to advocate for those around you. I enjoy listening to you speak about the causes that you're just passionate about. You light up a room when you are fighting for a cause. Don't ever lose that. I'm so, so proud of the person you're becoming. It's been a joy to watch you evolve into the human that you are today. In the words of one of our least favorite authors, Ralph Waldo Emerson, what lies behind us and what lies before us are small matters compared to what lies within us. Congratulations. I love you.
I love you too.
Congratulations, Kaylee. Thank you, Sam. I'd like to invite Nick Applewhite again to speak now on behalf of Bryson Scott.
All right, man, let's do this. As I'm sure a lot of people know, Bryson was one of the first students, one of the original Fusion the Woodlands students when the campus first opened up. Through his time, he's grown and emerged into the virtuous and forward-thinking young man that we see today. It's been an absolute pleasure and privilege to see the transformation from moody teenager to such a compassionate and fervent idealist that seeks only to redefine and elevate the standard to which we hold ourselves and each other in this world. From the myriad of philosophical conversations that we've shared to the deep dive into musical theory and artistry, Bryson has time and time again demonstrated his resolve and his beliefs. It is seldom that a young man of his age recognizes their own privileges and makes the conscious decision to set down their ego and personal benefit in order to improve the situation for the marginalized and the less fortunate in our society. I couldn't be any prouder of this young man that Bryson has grown to be. Any attempt that the world has made to disarm him of his optimism has been frustrated by sheer will when necessary. Bryson, whatever the future holds for you, we're all here cheering you on. Remain steadfast in your service to the world, from you according to your ability, to the world according to their need. I'll end this speech with a quote that I believe perfectly embodies Bryson. If we have chosen the position in life in which we can most of all work for mankind, no burdens can bow us down, because they are sacrifices for the benefit of all. Then we shall experience no petty, limited, selfish joy, but our happiness will belong to millions. Our deeds will live on quietly, but perpetually at work, and over our ashes will shed the hot tears of noble people. Bryson, you are amazing. Congratulations, dude. You earned it.
Thank you.
Proud of you, Bryson. Awesome to see how far you've come. Thank you, Nick. And up next, I'd like to bring Damon McDaniel, who's speaking on behalf of Will Sulant. Sorry, Damon. Can't hear you. Looks like you're off mute, but your mic's not working. Not yet. How about this? I'll give you a moment to work on that, and I'll bring up Jeff and Avery, and then right after that, we'll bring you back on, okay?
Okay, sounds good.
Thanks, everybody. Thanks for your patience, all. Jeff Armstrong and Avery Zabo, come on down.
All right. Oh my goodness, Avery, I am so totally excited to have the opportunity to speak for you. And before I kind of get going, throwing my thoughts out there, I do want to apologize to Joseph because my speech is going to go directly against your keynote speech. So I hope you forgive me with time on that. But Avery, as our graduation ceremony has gone along today, I am certain that we've seen and heard a variety of speeches being presented. Speeches that focus on humor, speeches that focus on nostalgia, and speeches that focus on presenting sage advice for our graduating seniors. And honestly, I found myself sitting at my keyboard afraid of these keystrokes as I tried to suss out what type of speech best personified my time as your educator. And while I know I'm not the wisest member of our faculty, I sincerely hope you'll accept my attempt to fulfill that final type of speech here today. See, I had the pleasure of teaching psychology to Avery, and it will always be one of my favorite courses to teach. Psychology is a field championed by some of the richest figures in human history. And while some of these figures introduce radical concepts which fail to stand the test of time, some of them provide insights into human nature that seem to permeate our zeitgeist for generations. One of my favorite figures in psychology is an interventionist by the name of Stu Ken Berg. And this Berg is a family therapist who is credited with pioneering solution-focused brief therapy. And that's a model I base many of my graduate papers on. And today, Avery, as you prepare for your own career in psychology, I'd like to go through an exercise based off of her principles with you. See, I want you to close your eyes just for a moment and go on a brief, quick journey with me. I want you to imagine we stepped into the parlor of the esteemed mystic and psychic, Madame Daphne, who's agreed to give you a few glimpses into the future that will be. Sitting around her table, the thick smell of incense heavy in the air, you gaze deeply into her crystal ball and see the rest of your life. Perhaps you see yourself in 5 years, just beginning to start your internship and nervous to see your first client. Maybe instead it's in 10 years as you beam with joy and pride while opening your own private practice. And just maybe it's much further than that. 50 years as you're surrounded by family and friends, celebrating retirement from a long and fruitful career of service to your community and clients that you treated with respect, dignity, and love. The truth is, Avery, is that you have so much potential in yourself. Potential that may seem elusive at times, but that others, your family, your friends, and teachers, we all see clearly. You stand today, ready to close your chapter on your high school career, but also holding the power to write the story for the rest of your life. And because of that, it's my sincere hope that you take today's exercise to heart, to always envision Madame Daphne's crystal ball and let the dream of your future self guide you. As you venture out into adulthood, you're going to be bombarded by innumerable decisions, life-altering ones and mundane ones. Never forget to keep your own heart at the center of each one of them. It's so easy for those that have the heart of a caretaker to lose sight of themselves. Just remember, you and your dreams will always be worth it. Now, as your teacher, I have one last assignment for you. That's to go forth and make those visions real. Thank you so much for the time we've had together, Avery. I've enjoyed every single minute of it.
Thank you so much. It's been a pleasure.
I love that, Jeff. Congratulations, Avery. So proud of you.
Thank you.
All right, we're going to bring Damon back to see if we're ready to go. Will, go ahead and turn your video on again. Hey there, bud. Damon, I think I hear you.
I think my audio is good, but I can't. You're going to have to do the video request.
Great. Thanks for teaching us on all this. Here we go. All right, let's do it.
How's it going, Will?
Pretty good. How about you?
It's going. So giving a speech is something a bit out of my comfort zone, which I'm sure is true for a lot of people. And first I thought Will was maybe getting a bit of revenge on me for all the math I forced on him to endure. I hope you weren't grounded too many times. In all seriousness, I was happy that Will reached out for me to do this. Will was among my first students 3 years ago. He's a nice, respectful, easygoing guy who I think any teacher who has had him would all agree with. It's just not possible not to like the guy. And we will all miss Will and his sister at Fusion. Math was challenging, but having a challenge is important for students as it gives them an opportunity to overcome something difficult. Everyone needs to be challenged in life because if everything was easy, then we become complacent and stagnant. We can't avoid these the challenges life brings us, so we must be prepared to take them on. And I think what makes Fusion so great is we give the space and the time to let our students struggle, but we provide them with safety nets so they don't become overwhelmed and swallowed up like so many others do in traditional school setting. I always challenged Will, and while he faltered some, he always ended up rising and meeting that challenge. He never complained about the class or made excuses and owned up to his mistakes. Then he'd overcome them, demonstrate he could do it and do it well. I'm proud of you and what you've done for me with me over the last 3 years. And as you go to college, remember these successes and how it felt when you overcame them. Focus on your goals, stay vigilant and disciplined with your studying. You were successful here and you will be successful with your next phase of your life. Good luck, my man. I look forward to seeing your potential blossom.
Thank you. Thank you very much. And also, Mr. Joseph, if you wouldn't mind if I could say a few words.
Please do.
Okay. I couldn't just leave Fusion without, saying something. So therefore, for those of you who don't know me, my name is Will Sulant. I'm one of the many people here this morning to celebrate the end of a long, amazing, yet life-changing 4 years. From the lingering classwork to the treacherous quizzes to the intimidating tests, from the fun homework cafe sessions to the meaningful student meetings, all the way to this day here and right now. All of these things led me to making amazing friends with whom I still talk to today and forming amazing relationships with wise teachers who make it every day's goal to inform and prepare us as the next generation for the struggles of the real world. Is this that I will appreciate and take into my next journey, college. I want to thank my wonderful family for guiding me through high school and keeping me in check, my teachers for making school something that I can enjoy and learn from, and my friends for always being there for me and making memories that I'll never forget. So cheers to this goodbye and thank you to all.
Thank you so much, Will. It was a real pleasure working with you, serving you, and I cannot wait for you to visit again.
Will do.
Good pun. Nice. All right. Up next is speaking on behalf of Chloe Marie Taylor is Kathleen Collins. Where's Kathleen? Oh no. Yeah. She's not on the video. She might be having some trouble. So we're gonna pull a Damon on us, okay? And I'll call you back up once we solve that. All right. Thank you. So speaking on behalf of Conrad Woodard is going to be Jalea Jones. Yes?
Hi.
Hi, Conrad.
Hi, Miss Julia.
Look great. I told you already, but I'd tell you again.
Thank you.
All right. So, good morning, everybody. My name is Jalea, and I worked with Conrad in the Homework Cafe. Sorry, I can't see. And I taught his life skills B course. Confession, last night I watched Doctor Strange as I wrote this speech. And for those of you who haven't seen this movie, it's about a neurosurgeon who gets in a car accident and he's left with really severe nerve damage in his hands. He learns to do some really interesting things. And in later movies, he helps save the world from Thanos. He's a pretty powerful man, very extremely, and he's faced a lot of personal adversity. Anyway, the point here is his hand movements reminded me of the way you perform your card tricks. And I remember the first time you showed me one of your tricks, I was scared. I'm not even gonna lie to you, I really was. I couldn't believe it worked, one, but it was pretty cool. And you were pretty confident, and you even showed a couple of other students that same day. And one day you showed the entire school. As a homework cafe teacher, you see a lot, but you also see a lot of character growth. And I've been able to watch your growth going from sitting alone in homework cafe to pulling up to the homework cafe and sitting with your friends and going to lunch with your friends and starting conversations. And it's been amazing to watch, and I'm so proud of you. There's something else to celebrate here today. Conrad, you are the only Black graduate in our class of 2020. And while you probably weren't thinking of your skin color while getting your diploma, you must know that your success today is a success for us all. I'd like to thank and congratulate your parents for being a great example for you and me, for excellence, unconditional love, and support. I'd like to thank you for pushing through, going the distance, and allowing us to get to know you. I know that you may see a lot going on in our country, and that may leave you feeling many ways or not knowing how to feel at all. But I wish I could do something to make life just a bit easier for you. But in the words of Angela Davis, I'm no longer accepting the things I cannot change. I'm changing the things I cannot accept. Conrad, I don't accept you being average. I hope that our time together has shown you that you are loved, you are adored, you do matter. Um, like Dr. Strange, you have faced personal adversity and have shown us how powerful and smart and wonderful and funny you are. Please don't ever, ever, ever dim who you are. I don't accept that. I accept you growing into a strong, self-advocating, compassionate, successful Black man, because you are, and I see it and we all see it. So I love you, Conrad, and congratulations.
Thank you.
No problem.
Thank you, Julia. Congratulations, Conrad. We're still solving the problem of the disappearing Kathleen. So while we work on that, I'm going to ask just for so a little bit of patience while we take a brief pause. I will turn my video off. You can kind of get up and go around. I don't want to move on. We're at the end of our speeches before our next step. And so I don't want to move forward without giving Chloe the opportunity to hear Kathleen speak on her behalf. And so we'll take a short break, and then I'll pop back on when we're ready to go. Thank you for your patience. Hello, all. We are ready to bring Chloe on screen, and Kathleen has joined us by phone. Her internet just took a total nosedive, so thank you for your patience. I'm going to. Oh, where'd you go, Chloe? But Kathleen, are you there?
I am here. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Chloe,
Okay.
I'm going to ask you to unmute. And all right, and we're good to go.
Chloe, can you hear me?
I can.
I am so sorry for technological issues. However, it is such an honor for me to be able to speak for you. And I wish I could see you right now. But good morning, all. And it's an honor and privilege again to have you, Chloe, to have taught you this year, to have taught you for English. You impressed me from the first time I met you on your shadow day. You came in with the biggest smile. You were eager to jump in, ask questions, and contribute to the lesson that I was teaching and that you knew nothing about. And it was just such an amazing meeting. From that very first day, I could tell your thirst for knowledge and learning was strong because of the multitude of questions you asked. And you asked great questions from that day on. Every student, Chloe, no, let me rephrase, every person has challenges, and Chloe, you're no exception. However, the difference is you meet your challenges head on and never let them stifle your quest to know more. I saw these qualities in every class, especially in the research you did for your essays and your projects. I would say brainstorm some ideas on the topic that you chose, and we'll discuss next session. When we met for our next class, you basically had done so much research on your paper that it was mostly written and the project was well underway. You would say, it was just so interesting. I wanted to include everything I learned. You set high expectations for yourself and work hard to meet your goals. If you get confused or frustrated about how to do something, you ask for help, a very mature quality that many adults struggle with, myself included. I admire that. Your kind, compassionate nature and your ongoing personality make others feel at ease when they are around you. You were the first smiling face to greet and speak to new students in the homework cafe and invite them to sit and chat so they wouldn't be alone. You were a great student ambassador. Chloe, you're about to embark on an exciting new adventure. There will be mountains to climb and setbacks to overcome, but I am confident that there will also be many opportunities for you to shine. The journey to your success is a process that will strengthen your resolve and lead you on exciting and unexpected adventures. Those adventures will help you grow, learn from the experience. So Chloe, today is your day. Enjoy it, remember it. Your mountain is waiting. Take off and conquer your mountains. I can't wait to hear about the amazing adventure your life takes you on. Thank you, Chloe, for the opportunity to teach you. I love you and congratulations.
Thank you so much, Miss Kathleen. Thank you.
You are so welcome.
Way to go, Kathleen. Thanks for sticking with it and finding a resourceful way to solve that problem. And congratulations, Chloe. I'm very proud of you. So now we move on to the last couple parts of our ceremony. And for that, I'm going to need the assistance of Ashley Myers, our Director of First Impressions, to help us present the class of 2020.
Thank you so much, Joseph. Seniors, I'm going to ask you to join me on video while I speak. Looks like we're waiting for a couple more seniors. Okay. It is an honor to lead the tassel turning portion of our ceremony. This tradition symbolizes the official completion of each of your high school careers. And whether you have your cap and gown or not, the closure you receive is still the same. As this moment represents the new beginning you all have been waiting for. Please join me on the count of 3 in moving your tassel from the right to the left. 3, 2, 1. Congratulations to the graduating class of 2020. And now we are going to have our closing moments with our head of school, Joseph Thompson.
And for that, I'd like to be joined by every teacher. Go ahead and turn your videos on. I can't tell, are we all here? There's just so many of us. All right, if we're all here, I believe you're all able to unmute yourself. If not, we'll do a quick run through. Oh. And if you're all unmuted, I want you just to go wild for our seniors right now.
Good noise.
Wonderful. We are so happy. So proud of you. And so for these final moments, you all can keep your videos on. This isn't what we rehearsed, and that's okay. I want to thank you all for your flexibility, your resiliency, more than anything else. So proud of you getting to the finish line, going through just, I mean, it was hard before this, and then coming to virtual, right? New challenges for all of us, and you did it. You're here. And so don't ever sell yourself short on what you're able to do. I'm proud of you. I thank you. And this was a whole lot of fun. We won't take up any more time on your Saturday. This is it. It's time to say goodbye. Thank you, friends and family. And we'll see you around.